Alright guys, here's the next project on the list. This is a 2020 Polaris Ranger 500. Got it from a guy on his farm. It's got like 700 hours on it, and currently it doesn't run. So we're gonna look and see what we can find out. It's in pretty good shape. I think the battery's dead or not hooked up. It's not. I mean, seats are pretty good. Got one little tear here. We'll have to recover that. I will have to get a roof for it. This is a makeshift roof. We can fix that. I mean, it's just super dirty, kind of nasty. Battery is unhooked, but it is pretty new. End of 25. Cool. Got some sugar ants going on here. Got some. Okay. Looks like the starter cylinder is new. It used to be mounted. Looks like crap. Oh no. That is the timing chain keeper that goes in the bottom of the case. And that is sitting in the bed. Fantastic. With it not running, I figured we were gonna have motor issues. Looks like she's covered in oil too. It does have all the gears in it. Everything looks good, and it's really tight suspension wise. So I don't think it's been racked out. I think it's really just nasty, and you can see like it just wasn't taken care of. And there's also oil all down the side of this thing. I'm wondering if it came out of the case or what. But it's super interesting. And you can definitely tell there's some backyard mechanics on this thing. Look at that bolt for the water pump. That one's gone, those are gone. It's alright though. I know a guy. Oh, and the timing chain tensioner is custom. Guys, oh my goodness. In a case like this where I see all the bolts have been taken out and messed with and just everything just looks terrible, we're just gonna pull the motor and start from zero. Every time I've ever done a project and it's been to where like it looks like somebody doesn't who isn't a non-backyard mechanic has been messing with it, and I go to fix it, there's always deeper issues, or you know, bolts that need to be fixed, stripped, and it always works itself out. And if you sell something like that, you end up screwing the next guy. So don't do it. Pull it out, do it right, get the manual if you don't know how. So that's what we're gonna do here, and yeah, we'll see. Let's see what the filter looks like. Also, it's missing a keeper. New. Okay. Should probably check the oil too. Definitely should have checked the oil when I was there. There was a big thunderstorm come up, and I was like, oh, just load it up, let's go. Which he had a rebuild price on it, like it was priced for someone to be able to rebuild. Oil looks clean. Doesn't look bad. Alright, well, I'm gonna save you guys the time. I'm gonna pressure wash the heck out of this thing and clean it up really good. Since I'm not going to video that, I will tell you guys what I use. My go-tos are Super Clean as a degreaser, and then also I go to O'Reilly's. Only O'Reilly's really carries it. Aluminum brightener. After you've degreased everything, you can use aluminum brightener to bring the aluminum shine back in anything like these little aluminum panels here. It will bring back, this stuff is like stainless, I think. It'll bring back a little bit of that. All your engine cases and stuff are good. If you have like a parts washing brush, you can just put it on there and kind of shake it up a little bit and stir the pot per se, and it will bring that thing back out pretty dang good without having to. Now on the motor, I probably won't do that much because I'm about to pull it out and deep clean it, but on the transmission, 100%. So, all right, I'll get back to you guys when she's clean. So we're ready to start working on this side by side. I got everything good and clean, power washed off, ready to be pulled apart. So I've got a little bit of a hill here to get in there. You can't really tell on the screen, but I do. So it's really hard. A lot of times I'm working alone. So I made up this little rig. This is a 5,000 pound winch from Harbor Freight. Yeah, just a 5,000 pound. And pretty much what I did, it comes with a fair lead and a mounting plate on the bottom. You mount the winch to the mounting plate and the fair lead onto that. And I welded on a piece of 2-inch tubing so it could go in a receiver hitch. Right there is a hole drilled. You can drop a pin in. So I can use this on the back of my truck. I can use this. I've got a 2-inch receiver hitch on my trailers. That way I can just slide in, put a pin in it, and then pull stuff up on the trailer. 5,000 pounds with a snatch block is enough to roll the truck up. I mean, you're not gonna get a stuck brake truck up, but to roll anything like that up, you know, I've rolled up a 2500 on it in neutral before, but pretty easy. But anyways, and then I also have a shackle on here, so like for this I can run a rope around something and ratchet it back. So this is a great thing to have. Just kind of zip tied all the lines and stuff, the solenoid to it, zip tied everything together, and that way I kind of have it all. And I just wrote off a jump box, and all I did on this was already had a hole in this post, so I just shoved a piece of rod through it and ran my rope around it. That way I can just kind of drag it back out of the way and, you know, take it wherever I need to. But anyways, portable winch setup, in case you guys wanted to know. All right guys, here we are, cleaned up, looking good. Drive shaft feels good, didn't have much slack. Battery doesn't look that old. Everything cleaned up really nice on this thing. I think it's got about 700 hours on it. So not crazy, I mean, not great, like perfect, but not crazy either. Most of the staining did come off, so I need a little bit more work, but it looks good so far. I mean, not terrible, could be worse, could be better. So what we're going to do now is I am going to set you guys up. We're going to get this bed off and out of the way. So much easier to work like that. Then we got to get this guy off, out of the way, and we're going to work on lifting this engine out of here. And once we get close, I'm use my crane there to get her out. Post where it's at. Guys, you got to pull this heat shield off. Be careful of bending it, so that will go back in pretty. Yeah, it's really easy to bend. But this piece separates from the bottom, so you got to have it off. Let me show you guys. So once you have this thing free, looks like it's just chilling. That gap is starting to form out there. Just take your knife and run down it. Right here. It doesn't have to come out as one piece. When it comes out as one piece, this always seems to break. So don't do that. So I'm going to pull this out, and then we'll pull the bottom, and then that'll give us, well, pop your sensor out, pop those two out, then the bottom will come out. And that'll take this whole hump out, give us a lot more room to get in there, that guy. So let's do that. Alright guys, room to work, name of the game. Now we got plenty of room to pull that engine up out of here. So, just to explain to you guys what's about to happen, I'm going to pull the belt cover off, pull the clutches. You got to have a clutch puller to pull the main, not the rear. It just comes off. Pull the belt, pull this backing housing right here. We're going to drain the oil, we're going to drain the coolant, we're going to undo all the coolant hoses, we're going to undo the air intake boot. We're going to pull the air box, which is a pain. It's got one bolt directly under the back side. Really tough. You have to kind of get in from this side with like a 13 millimeter with extension. You got to put a wrench on the other side. It's got a nut. It's just a pain. Pull the wiring out of the way, pull the throttle body off out of the way. We will pop the muffler loose here, so just kind of swing it back, pull the header off, unplug the stator and everything down yonder. Then we've got 2 bolts here, 2 bolts on the other side for motor mounts. And then we've got these 2 in the front that you can see all the time. That guy right there and right there. I pull this guy off too. And yeah, pull the fuel feed off of it, pull everything back out of the way, and then we'll put a strap on this bad boy. We'll pull out, and then we'll get it tore down and fix it. And this is going to be a great machine. Bringing these things back to life is just awesome. No matter if it's a side-by-side, if it's a piece of equipment, or what it is. Yeah, no piece like this should go to the junkyard. The guy even said that he was thinking about taking it to the junkyard, which is just crazy to me. I mean, this thing is in great shape. I don't know. We live in such a throwaway culture. Everybody wants to throw everything away, and I don't get it. Literally, taking it to the dump. Seriously. I don't know. But, not today. So, gave me some cash for it, and here we are. So, let's get it back running. All right, guys, we got this absolute tower of a motor on the bench. Now we just need to figure out what's wrong with it. So we're going to tear it down. As you can see, somebody's been into it. That's the whole reason I pulled it. This is definitely not the stock tensioner. To be honest, it's probably a better tensioner, but I mean, you can tell where they ran the bolt down too tight. And Timing chain's probably stretched. Hopefully these aren't stripped out. I mean, 4 or 5 bolts here missing. This one's haven't seen better days. So got oily residue all over the case, all over the bottom down there. I did drain the oil out of it just now. Top end has been replaced on it, which he told me that. The guy was honest. So we're gonna tear this thing down, see how dirty she is, and see what she needs. Let's get after it. All right. Let's open her up. Hopefully, this thing's in pretty good shape. I guess we'll find out in just a minute. Alright, let's see. Okay. Let's see. The timing chain was tight. Look at that. This is interesting. I've never seen one of these. Well, unlike a Honda or something, but I don't know these. These tensioners are usually like this, without this. So that's different. Oh man. This cam bolt is just about chewed all the way up. Like that should be it. Golly. There we go. Whew. I'm definitely going to replace that bolt. Where out she is. Okay. Sprocket looks good. Chain seems okay. I think he said to replace the chain too. Show you guys something about this. Damn, no. So something about these 500s. It's gonna be awesome if this crankshaft is so good. This thing is not too dirty. Brass hammer. Live and die by the brass hammer. There she comes. Check this out. Camshaft breaks off. Right there, it's supposed to have a big old finger that goes on it. Saw that on a video. Yeah. They're not great. Not great. I wouldn't say terrible either, but not great. I think we could soften that up though. Looks like it got something on it and then kind of scraped it in. Huh. It's 14. There's our fuel rail and our fuel injector. Ooh, she's on there. I'm going right where I am. There we go. Sometimes you can nudge it the other direction. Break it loose, just like that. Got two 8mm on the side of the head over here. That'll be it for holding this bad boy on. Alright. Okay. She looks pretty dang clean. I like that. Oh, we'll take that any day of the week. Uh-oh. Watch out for your lifters falling out. Don't try to force them in there. It's really tight fit. I don't think the head gasket or anything was leaking. A little bit of crap in here. Not terrible. Alright, pull the front off. Maybe. Woo. Rough. I'm glad they didn't force that one in. You don't have to pop this off. I'm going to go ahead and do it because most of the bolts are out of it. It might be stripped. So. Good. Water pump. You got a little bit of slack in her, but it may be normal. Case you're going to need to do it with a 1/4 inch. Break them all loose with a 1/4 inch. And the reason I'm pulling this apart, guys, is because it's got oil all down this side of the case. And I want to make sure nothing's jacked up under here. And there's evidence somebody's been in here. This is a new stator, looks like. A big one. Looks new to my eyes. That boy. Way tighter than it is. Go ahead, go. Woo. Way too tight. Goodness gracious. Man. I don't like that. That's not the single bolts to hell. They've been torquing down. This will go 8mm. Oh my gosh. This is way too much torque for, I guess this would be a 6mm bolt, but 8mm head. Back. Okay. Now since you're all buzzed loose, might as well not stripping them out. remember the magnet you're just holding this cover on. Also, don't forget your dipstick. I did. Yeah, really? Forget one? I think so. There we go. Alright, we're not looking too bad. Oh, we're fine. We're good. Okay. Maybe we're gonna be alright. I hope so. But, for sure, I don't know if I'm gonna trust this chain. And also, another reason I want to tear this down is because I don't know where a piece of that cam went. So, I'm probably, no matter what, just gonna split it open anyways until I find that piece. And then we'll just see how far we got whenever we get there, you know. I think this popped right out. Wait, but whatever. I'm sorry, okay. Alright, I'm the big dog, get that thing on. There's 24. Yeah, it's like 27. Seven. That'll work. Come on, baby. Question of the day. Are you right-handed or left-handed, Reds? Ooh, that was not five enough. Right-handed. Dang, that's not. Huh. Also, guys, you gotta have a puller to get this thing off. That's what it looks like. Threaded, threaded. It's left-handed too. Back it off. Screw it on. Maybe screw it on. Maybe they're both left-handed. Maybe they're not. Okay. If this doesn't work, you're going to be up the creek like I am right now. Come on, child. I know you wanted it. It is left-handed, gents. It is left-handed. This left-handed stuff gets me every time. Back it off a few threads. I know in a few threads. What size are you? No. Again, fellas, left-handed. Like that. Voila. And it feels so wrong. This stuff backwards. Just plow that thing in there. These things aren't much on Amazon. Go get yourself one. See if our Uno bearing is working. Get in there. Get in there! Yeah. Come on, dude. Come on. There's probably a correct way to do this, and I'm probably doing it wrong, so. We'll figure it out. Oh, yeah. There we go. Just gotta hold your mouth right. Oh, yeah, she's grabbing. She's grabbing. I like it. Okay. Still no sign of our missing camshaft piece. I'll be darned. Remember that piece was eat up inside the case? They replaced it. I was not counting on that at all. But I don't think we need to go any further right here right now. I don't see it. I don't have too much slack in our oil. Everything looks fine here. Yada 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 yada. No. This guy off, I think. Yes, doesn't have anything else going on. Same thing. Oh yeah. Are we locked up? Are we unhappy? You're not locked up. Christian just came up. A leaf just fell on the case. This looks pretty good. I like it. I like it when a cylinder looks good. I like my cylinders like I like my Christians. Good. Here is the problem, fellers. Ka-tink, ka-tink. Ka-tink, ka-tink, ka-tink. Hear that? It's the sound of money leaving my wallet. Oh yeah. Up and down, all around. This is what happens when you don't put oil in your engine. No oil, no go-go. Or go-go with funny sound. That's alright. That's okay. Been here before. Fought this battle many a day. On the battlefront. Battlefront of Black Commands. I like to call it. Fingers on. There's not much to hold these things on. Short, I mean, it's 2 bolts that hold them on, but you know what I mean. Oil pump. Well, oil pump chain and gear. This also can get stretched. You're gonna have a little bit of play in it, like that much. But if you're like, oh man, I can take that off my hand. Too much. No bueno. Go back to the chain factory. Dude, these are not even tight now. Dang, come on. Guys, you just... Man, it's hard to trust anybody to rebuild nowadays. Tighten that up. Nice. Very nice. Alright. I think I can grab anything new. Point where you get real oily, can't grab anything. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. All we got left in here, these 2 guys, we slip this chain out, pop these 3 off. You can pull the oil pump guts out. This little feller slides off in here. This little feller went to market. Yeah. Boom. Zap this thing off. Oh no. Well, I guess I wouldn't matter. In case. Normally would, not today. Oh no. Balance your engine. Set them up. See, that looks much better than the other one. The other one's jacked. The other one just jacked it off. No. You guys see that? Maybe, maybe not. There's also the side we're going to put the case on, because there is no other side. So, you got one chance and one chance only. There you go. remember this goes a certain way. That way, that guy, something went through that oil pump. See there, a little scarring. Sometimes you can sand that out. Sometimes it's not that big a deal. Sometimes it is. I'm gonna try to sand it flat and see what happens. Okay, we'll pick that out in a minute. That's aggravating. It will fall right out. It's just wedged itself in there. Alright, now I need to pop the piston off. Let's get the stoning. Man, that sucks. Wow. Man, boys. Watch who you're doing your work. This C-clip is not even all the way in there. It's bent. They probably didn't know how to get it in. Also, I understand it is like one of the most frustrating things on the planet. So, I get it, and I'm with you. That does not help. It's like, it doesn't need to be extremely wrong. You know what I'm saying? A little bit there. Boom. Guys go in there. Boom, boom. Boom. That is just terrible. No bueno. Okay. We're going to pop this starter off. Gonna pull that guy. This guy. Look at that guy, he's such a stud. Alright, starter out of the way. Gone. Gonzo. Bought a dirt bike one time and it had a number plate on it that said Gonzo on it. I don't know if it's the guy's name. That was like his king. He was there and he was Gonzo. I don't know. Either way, kind of cool. Alright, I'm going to lay this bad boy on its side and do some open heart surgery. Maybe. Stop. There we go. 13s or 14s? 13. 13 millis all the way around. I would say the ones do the ones inside the engine first. At this point doesn't matter. It's all getting clean. Get that guy up there. Filter. Already loosened it up. Oh, I did. Okay. There you go. Get all your little special bolts out of there. Forget about the guy in the hole. A medical thing. Don't forget about the guy in the hole. Alright. I'm going to split this the wrong way and make off the tool to do this. I am not doing that. So, if you're a purist, look away. If you're not type of people. As long as you do this right, not hurt anything that much. kind of working loosely, but just trying to massage it. What we're looking for right there. Got a little bit of space. Just making a little bit of space here. This is a rubber hammer, guys. It's not going to kill anything. There we go. Still have yet to find that piece. Where is it? There's a piece of it. Found a piece of it. A baby piece of it. Okay. Whoa. Oil pump finally came out. See, it just falls out. So, there's the case. She needs help in CPR stat. Good thing I'm a surgeon. And colors. This is what I was talking about right here. Look at that. That whole big chunk, or the whole thing right there, broke off of the camshaft. Boom. Look at that. All pieces accounted for. Broken camshaft, broken crankshaft. All of my shafts are in working condition. Come on, child. Counterbalance. Very nice. Now, I'm going to show you the correct way to get this out. Not really. I'm just going to do, I'm literally just going to hammer it out with this hammer. Oh yeah, if you're going to reuse the crankshaft, don't do this. Also, whenever, so this is a press fit side, whenever you put it back in, heat the bearing, freeze the crank. She'll drop right in. Greasy hands and a big hammer, not cool. There she goes. Boom. Bearings, they got hot though. Wow, they did get hot. Hey, I'll replace those guys. Definitely replace your crank seal. That goes without saying, boys. A couple of leaves in the bottom of here. Other than that, she looks terrible, you know? This is the culprit. See, she's hard. She's hard, boys. Junk in there. She's got a dirty soul. Nasty, nasty. Alright, the search for parts begins. I'm going to clean these up. Clean the cases. Not going to show all that. I have a vat with mineral spirits in it. Got to start with, get all the big stuff. And I have a dishwasher, like for your house. And I finish off with that. You'll see the finished product after that. I'm going to reuse the cylinder. I'm going to buy a gasket kit. I'm going to buy rings, because I always put fresh rings in anything. I'm going to get a timing chain, because I don't know how old this timing chain is. I don't trust it. I'm going to get a tensioner. I'm going to get a crankshaft. And I'm going to get a crankshaft bearing kit. This is insane. Anyways. Oil filter. What else? I don't know. Maybe an oil pump. Camshaft. I'll go get another engine while I'm at it. So, anyways, alright, let's rock and roll. Alright guys, got all the cases clean. I am about to join the two cases. So I've got the crankshaft in the freezer. I'm about to heat these bearings up. I'll lube them up real good, get them hot. I'm just gonna do the heat gun on it. Sometimes I will use butane torch or something like that. Matte gas, not butane. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Anyways, heat that up, cold crank, hot bearing, slide it right in, slide our counterbalance in, get everything put together. Then we'll squish them, bolt them, torque them, start putting our timing cover together, timing together, all that good stuff. Start with the top end once the timing is almost done, and then yeah, we're just gonna put this thing together. So I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse, and we're gonna get this motor built, and then I'll see you guys. We'll stick it back in. All right, guys, we're almost through with this thing. I made a bonehead mistake. I do it all the time. So, in the old crankshaft, in the end of it, you have an oil orifice that changes oil pressure. This is what it looks like. You got to screw it into the new crankshaft before you put the timing cover on. I really only got to pop those bolts out, slide it in, and pop them back on. So it's not that big a deal. At least there's no silicone on that. That's a rubber gasket, so it'll be fine. The reason we didn't finish the motor in the time lapse is I started looking, and another thing, something I missed, whenever the last guy rebuilt the top end, he did not even have dowel pins in this top end. So normally you pull them out of the old cylinder and put them in the new one, so now I have no dowel pins, so I cannot put the head on. And yes, I have looked in the bottom of the head and they weren't there. And normally I pay attention to stuff like that, but I guess it just slipped my mind this time. So I've got to order 2 dowel pins, and then I'm going to slap this back together. I'm going to put this little orifice in here, put the top end back on. The valves are holding really good on this, so I'm going to clean the head up, keep them as they are. I'm not going to relap them in or anything like that. We'll probably do that later videos. One thing is, they did sell, that's that new cam relief. They did have a new piece. You didn't have to buy a whole cam, it's just the relief itself. So that's the piece that was broken off, we found in the bottom of the case. All that's good to go. So all I have really left to do, head, time this bad boy, you know, put my cam and everything in, torque my bolts and everything down, the head bolts and all, put my cover on, and then we'll be getting her back into this girl right here. And then we'll finally get to see, is this all that's wrong with it? Is the transmission good? Hopefully so. Trying to make a buck on this one. So, all right, let's get after it. All right, guys, motor back together, everything's timed. I think we're good to go. Everything's super clean. I did end up using this tensioner. So this is kind of like got the Honda style tensioner. It's just got a little shaft that goes in there and pushes it out, but it's a locking tensioner. So if the chain gets loose for some reason, it'll go out and stay locked and won't come back. That way it'll hold itself. But so now we're gonna get back on this project. I'm gonna get this engine put in, and before we get everything back on, we're gonna get it in, try to get it fired up, see if she runs, and then before we get everything else back on, we're gonna get the clutches hooked back up and see if this transmission is good. Hopefully it is. Let's do it. All right, I think everything's hooked up. I think the last thing we have is this fuel line. I don't know how old the fuel is. It looks okay in the tank. We're gonna cycle that key in there a few times. So, coolant line's hooked up, coolant in there, spark plug hooked up, wiring harness hooked up, starter hooked up, oil good to go, filter on, Gotta hook the fuel up. Seatbelt safety, good to go. I just got it plugged in and hanging. Fuel pump looks like it's hooked up. Battery's hooked up. I hear it pumping fuel. Give it a second, let's look at this fuel. Did have a little bit of oil in here, but the fuel looks okay. I mean, it looks yellow on the camera, but it's not that bad. It does, like I say, add oil in there. It smells strong enough to burn. And I looked in the tank. It doesn't look that bad. Let's see if we can get this thing primed up. I do have an engine code on. I'm just gonna hear it priming up, building pressure. I wonder if this would tell us what that is. 0636. Let's find out what that is real quick before we start this up. Let's see. Polaris Ranger. Yeah, but guys, it's all hooked up while I'm Googling this. Here's some stuff resetting. Code's still on and it's blinking. Okay. So that's a big code. So this is what it pulls up. Crankshaft position sensor plausibility fault. Usually means the sensor is sending erratic data, losing signal, or failing to communicate with the engine control module. Crap. Let's just see what happens here first. Okay. Got nothing on the key. I wonder if we got a bad relay of some kind here. Lights, drive accessory, fan relay. See, I keep hearing some weird stuff over here too. I don't know what's doing that. We're neutral. Okay. Plugged up there. Normally that means the brake is not making up. There's the brake switch there, but I know we have brake pressure. So we're gonna try to jump the solenoid. So let's hang on and try that. Alright, first order of business. We need to make sure all these are good. Fuses and then relays. So we still have the code. Got nothing cranked over. But I did have another starter solenoid. So I just unplugged this starter solenoid here. Unplugged. And I plugged in a spare one. And now, when I hit the key, if you listen close, you'll hear it click. So another starter solenoid's bad. It's not the brake sensor, it's not the sensor or anything else. I could have done that with a voltmeter. I just had that to plug in, makes it easier on me. I have my test light here. I'm gonna test these guys. Good, 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 good. Those are spares. So, relays. One way I test the relays without having to break out the meter and everything else is you look here, headlight, fan, EFI, fuel pump. I turn this on. I hear my fuel pump running. So I know this relay is good. headlight relay. Go back to my headlight switch, they come on. I know my headlight relay is good. Yep, headlight's good, fuel pump relay's good. I can't test the EFI until, I'm pretty sure that's for the upholstery injector, so I guess we'd find out later. But what I can do is replace this EFI relay with the headlight relay, and every one of them with their headlight relay, and turn the headlights on and off to see if it works. For the fan, another thing you can do is just unplug your temperature sensor there. Give it a second, your fan will come on because it thinks it's opening the switch and it's hot, so it'll come on. Then you can plug it back in, it'll cut itself off. That's how you know that relay is working. Then you can just swap out the rest of the relays with that to make sure they're working. One of the relays I like to swap out is the EFI and the chassis relay, because they can give you a lot of issues and they're hard to test without running the actual test on the relay. So inside the fuse box, we're good. We know we have a bad starter solenoid, so I'm going to swap that out real quick. Another thing we can do is we pull up this code, and this is the crankshaft position sensor code. Oh, you go to the check engine, come on, and then you hold down. I just googled 06362 and it said crankshaft position sensor connection error, so I cut that off. Come over to my crankshaft position sensor right here, which looks fine. I don't see any damage, but we're going to take and unplug it. Maybe. There we go. So it's unplugged now. Unplug. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that to see if another code comes up. If I get another code, then I know that it has nothing to do with the sensor itself. And I also know that, so for instance, if I got another code, I would say the wire is not broken, it's the sensor. But if I get the same code, I would assume that either the sensor is bad or the wire is broken, because I keep getting the same code, which I'm getting the same code here. So since the code is the same with it plugged in or unplugged, it's either not seeing the sensor or the wire is broken. So that's kind of what we're going with. So now I'm gonna swap the wires on this starter solenoid so we can get this thing turned over, and then plug this back in and just see, maybe it's from where it was sitting, I don't know, but we're gonna try to turn it over for the first time and see if we can get this thing to crank. Guys, it's still hanging, needs to be mounted, but it's hooked up. I hope I don't have it backwards. I think I don't. Pull on the brake, contact. Still not going great. Alright, we're gonna jump it with a pair of pliers. Not going great, not going great. But we're gonna continue. Alright, I was not expecting that. And the code went away. Come on, baby, that's what I'm talking about. No check engine. Up. So it did come back on. Huh. Went away, now it's back. Kinda weird, but I don't understand how we're running that good and we have a crank position sensor code Man, I'm not complaining. The idling good, sounds good. Hear any ticking or anything? I'm gonna turn it off, and I'm gonna try it again. I may have to jump the solenoid once again. Let's see. So the code goes away. So I guess the moral of the story is don't go looking for trouble. See if it comes up on its own. Alright. We're gonna cut it off real quick. Just oil, and Annie sees it's burning off. We're gonna check this oil. I don't like to run it very long. Usually that oil filter will soak up some oil. Let's see where she's at. I think I might have overfilled it a little bit. Let's see. So these are screw in to check. I think like literally all Polarises are that way. So I could make a really questionable thumbnail out of this smoking engine. Oh no, it blew up. And this thing's hard to read. Alright. First start, I'll definitely call it a success. Definitely need starter solenoid. Hopefully I got another one somewhere, or I can rob one off of something. But overall, I'm super happy with it so far. I'm gonna let it run a little bit more, and hopefully that still starter solenoid starts working. I hear it clicking, just ain't going all the way up, I guess, or I have it backwards. I don't know. Anyways, I'll let it run a little bit. Just let it get broke in a little bit before we take it down the road. I'm gonna put the air box back on. Then I can put the clutches on. And once I get close to put the clutches on, I'll holler back at you guys. I'll stick the seat on it, leave everything else off. Just the air box so we got clean air, and we got clutches so we can pull the machine. And then we'll go buzz it down the road and see if she's gonna work like she's supposed to. But looks like we're still code free. It's a blessing. I don't see any symptoms of any crankshaft position errors. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with any crankshaft position sensor errors, but I mean, it will backfire, run like crap, not run at all, barely start, won't idle. I mean, anything and everything, you know. Crankshaft position sensor is a culprit, so it shouldn't idle and run like this if it had a true crankshaft position sensor error. I did unplug it. I blew the plug out and plugged it back in. Maybe that was it. Okay, got a little stalling action here. Let's see. Also could be where I don't have the airbox and stuff on yet, so I don't want to judge a book by its cover yet. So. Alright, move on to the next. Alright guys, we're back. So it seems to be running fine, but after a minute or two, it will stop idling and quit. So first thing that comes to my mind is, are our valves in spec? Our clearance is good, and our clearances are good. This would be 6,000, 8,000. It's 6,000, 8,000. I've double checked that. Everything's good there. The next thing I want to say is, one, if you have weird issues and it's just like runs but it's still having weird issues, spark plug. So I'm gonna go buy a spark plug and put in it. This is the old one in there. I usually buy a new one every time. I just haven't got around to it. So I have literally bought machines that will not run. Put a spark plug in them and it runs. So don't overlook that. Super simple stuff. If it's doing something weird, just put a spark plug in it before you start going crazy. Buy a brand new spark plug. I have had old timers tell me, you know, if a spark plug fouls too many times, that it will never act right again. Is that true? Maybe. Probably somebody knows more than I do can tell you the truth. I don't know. But I do know for a fact, if you're having weird issues, buy a spark plug. But secondly, this thing, as all Polarises, are very fuel pressure sensitive. So there's like a million videos online of, why does my Polaris not run? Well, fuel pump's not pumping enough. Well, so this is just a high pressure fuel pump. It's got it rigged up. I got a bolt in one end, it's open on the other. I just slip the line off here, slip it right down, plug it up, and all I do is cycle the key on and off a couple times. And on these newer ones, I think you need at least 45 psi. It may be in the 50s, I can't remember. Just Google it, just look it up. So I'm gonna check the fuel pressure, and then I'm gonna grab a new spark plug, and then I'll get back with you guys. So guys, looks like it's holding about 35 psi. I think it needs about 45. I really do. But in the meantime, let's go get a plug for it, swap it out. All right guys, so we found our issue. 35 psi is what I'm getting out of this thing. I've tried it 3 times, and 58 psi plus or minus 2 psi is the spec. So that means our lowest could be 56 psi and our highest needs to be about 60 psi. So we're about 20 off. So that makes sense because, like I say, I think 35 psi gives it enough fuel. But after, like I say, 2 minutes or so, it wants to die. That makes sense. We build pressure, we put fuel in, but we're not putting enough fuel in, so the longer we idle, we die, right? So that's what we're fixing to do. I'm gonna order a new fuel pump for this thing. I did swap out spark plug. Didn't have any change there, but like I say, I believe this is the culprit. So we're gonna get a new fuel pump coming for this thing, and then we are going to start putting this bad boy back together, go for a test ride. Let's get it done. All right, let's get this thing back together. And this is the worst part. Trying to get this thing into this maze. Try to get you guys up here so you can see. Already not starting out really great. Man, I hate this part. Get in there, move over there. I'm gonna try to get this shaft in here without breaking anything. I know there's probably a better way to do this. That is one of the worst parts right there. If you were on this side, I think you were. Yep. That stays there. Are you on the inside? Yeah, you had to go under. I gotta pull that coolant line. Put that under there. But it's not gonna let it go up, I don't think. Man, this is a dumb design. Well, I guess they didn't really have that much to work with though. So this is just one of those things. I'm missing a clamp. Clamp. Feels a little large. Got another one here. There, exactly the same. And I know it came off of here. Man, it sucks. There we go. Now we're cooking. Alright. Now we're up on there. And that's kind of out of the way now. I still think that coolant line right there needs to go to the other side. That needs to go up on there. Like so. Man. That is the most unfun part of this whole thing. Getting that back plate in. It's in a really bad spot. And just super tight. All these are 10 millimeters. And none of these thread in very good. That doesn't go in there. They all have these little rubber light washers on them. Seal from water. And if you're planning on going through a bunch of mud, I would put some silicone around. I wouldn't put them on the bolt. I'd put it right next to it. So when it seals up, it seals off. So nothing can get out. That your future self will thank you. Keep you from soaking belts and whatnot. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. Boop, 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 boop. That does not go. There he is. Should be it. And guys, I'm just going to run this down softly with an impact on a light setting. If you don't know your impact well, don't do this with an impact. If you've used your impact for a long time, you probably know exactly how tight you need to go and what you need to give it. Those seals are coming right off. Alright, back plate is on. That is the worst part of this entire thing. This little guy holds on right there. And get way back in here and get your nut on. It's a 10 millimeter. And it does not go through the front of the case. Or the cover, per se. You just get that tight with your hand. What else are we missing? Actually, I think that coolant line does go around the front right there. Looks like the bend is made that way. You just have to hold it up out of the way. Alright, let's get... I did get this in. I got the 13 millimeter in that goes right through there. I didn't video that, guys. You're just going to have to wrench from that side. 6-inch extension and a 13 millimeter from this side. It's a super pain in the butt. But you got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean? She's tight there. Let's get this guy tight right here. If you use your other hand to hold that clamp, it won't slip on you. It is the best way to do it. All right, so we got a short tube that connects right here. It goes through this maze of pipes and tubes and connections and everything else, and it just drops down like so, not like that, like that. That clamp's gonna go up there. You just kind of put this in like so. Not really a great way to do this either way. This is how it works. And once it goes over that pipe, you'll feel it. That does not feel right. What am I doing wrong here? Maybe it does go up. Am I crazy? Maybe it goes under that. I'm gonna have to go back and look, I think. The footage. I don't remember. I'll see where it goes. I wonder if it goes sideways. I bet you it does. Got a little indentation right there. It looks like where it's been sitting on that pipe for a while. So we're gonna pop this guy out of the way. Man, that's a pain in the butt. These air tubes are always the worst, man. Pop the coolant sensor out of the way too. See if I can get this guy in here or not. That is the way it goes. Okay. Man, that's such a pain. So then, our plug and our temp, it's got to go over the top of this pipe. And I think we're gonna be like right at it. When I talk about close, I mean close. That thing is in there. She's buried. But it's got enough. Both of them have enough. I don't like the way that pulls though, my goodness. I may put that below, I think I am. Ooh, that's in a bad spot. So you see how that wire's pulling over the top? I don't want to put too much stress on that thing. I'm gonna try to go under, in between. I think that's the way it was done, I guess. You kind of just have to use your brain here, guys. Figure out what's going to be the best way. Yeah, that has plenty more slack on it. And I want to make sure that nothing is pulling on this plug wire, so the plug wire doesn't try to come off all the time. All right, I think that's going to do it. It's not my favorite, but gonna have to stay that way. It's on there though. Doesn't feel like it's pulling off. Alright, what did I do with my flathead? Gonna roll this back, make it easy to get to for the next guy. Always remember your orientation when you're doing this. That way you don't screw the next guy. I need to go crazy tight there. Alright. I like all that. I know this is all right. I got one tube to go across the top. This guy here. And there's my other clamp. And this one's a freaking pain as well. It goes in here. And also you got a tube that goes from right here over to the engine. I got it sitting over there. I'm gonna get it done in a second. Oh my gosh. Two down, two down. Okay. Now rotate it, and you have. Okay, what you got going on here? Put that on the wrong way, didn't I? That goes on there. That goes there. Have a little 10mm that drops in there. And then you have these clamps to tighten down on these. So that's good all together. And roll that down so it doesn't rattle against the bed. All right, we're in there. We're looking for a pointy, like so, self-tapping 10mm. Goes in yonder. Hello. Gets up on there. It's tight on there. It's high. I'm gonna have to find my 10mm ratchet wrench to get that on. We can do that in a minute. These parts, guys, you just have to take your time on. Double check all your routing, where everything goes. Make sure nothing's gonna rub crazy or anything. Now, for the next part, secondary clutch. So these kind of feel a little weird. Have like a, got rollers on the inside. And these have a little bit of wear on them, but I don't think they're too bad. I kind of like the other clutch style better that Polaris has. Good there. Don't forget this little washer. It goes between the two. Rounded edge out. They're good. If those are locked up, you need to replace them. They're pretty cheap. Play with it until it gets where it needs to be. So you're getting those two on there, and also the shaft on the transmission. It's kind of a pain. There you go, just like so. Secondary bolt, make sure your washer's on there. Threads look good. Got a little bit of grease residue on it, which is good. Belt. Looking for some letters. I'm gonna go readable way forward, so if you can read Polaris, that's the way she goes on there. Primary. Always check that bearing right there. It should roll freely. If it doesn't, the machine's going to try to pull itself forward, lurch the whole time. Let's see if that's going to be alright. Yeah, that's fine. Thought I didn't know if those threads were going to give me trouble or not. Alright, I'm going to torque these two down. Slap the cover on there. Super simple. Slap it on there. What else? Tighten that guy down, and then put that breather hose that goes from right there into the side of this tube. I'm gonna slap it on there. I want to throw the air filter on, air filter housing cover on, and then I have a couple of these heat shields like that, like this, that go up under there to cover everything up. I'm gonna slap those on. And then even with the low fuel pressure, like I say, I got the fuel pump on the way, it's not here yet. We're gonna go buzz this thing around. It's probably gonna bust up, not gonna want to idle perfect and all that good stuff, but we'll be able to test transmission, all the gears, and make sure this thing rides good without crazy sounds or anything. So let me finish this up, and then we'll take it for a spin. All right, let's see how she rides. All right, guys. I mean, first ride, not bad. This thing makes some weird noise. I'm gonna pop that off and get a real one on there. Get the OG one on there and pull this little horn off. Look at that. Might ever float your boat. But yeah, I just checked high, low, reverse, park, neutral. Everything seems to be working. I don't hear any weird sounds. It's at a lack of power. I can feel that because of this low PSI. So guys, lack of power. I mean, the first thing I would check is your fuel pump on these things, man. And whether that's a 500, 570, 900, 1000, 800, just check it first. All right, guys. Machine is pretty much back together. The only thing we're missing is the back seat. I got the bed and everything on just the same way as I took it off. I know you guys caught that earlier in the video. Everything's together. The heat shields and all are on. She's sounding good. Now we're just going to do a couple of details, because the details are really what makes these machines pop. So I've got a new stock hood coming. This is like a piece of something. I don't know what fiberglass feels like. Yeah, it's fiberglass. Try not to get that in my hand. So we're going to take this roof off, and also that horn. Alright. We'll get these while I'm up here. Ooh, that one broke off nice. Milwaukee get too much power. There you go. Range just been getting those. Those broke off way easy. Alright, so let's set this down to the side without getting fiberglass all in my hand. I don't know what that came off of. Alright. Now, get this little horn off here. Rest of those fasteners went. Oh, he must have cut them off. Huh. There's no fasteners left up there. Interesting. And when the stock roof comes back in, we'll slide it on right here, and we will be back to stock. On off of there. Gotta love a self-tapper. Sorry about the wind noise, guys. There she comes. There's your little bicorn. Oh, she's a little sick. Alright, let's see what else we need to do detail-wise. Looking good. She's looking good. So we're prepped for a roof. I did flat block that a little bit right there. Showing. I think we're going to do that one more time. Just on the front of this thing. I'm not really going to prep it. I'm just going to throw it right over what's here. Make it look a little better. Guys, spray paint is the way to go. You don't have to do anything fancy on these machines. Just don't paint it some stupid color. We're just trying to make it look like stock. Keep the rust away. That's all we're trying to do. Shine her up a little bit. Not going crazy. Guys, get you some spray paint. I use this HDX. It seems to stick to just about everything. I haven't had any much trouble with it running and stuff like that. Yes, I'm painting the bolts too. Like I say, guys, I'm not trying to deceive anybody here. We're just trying to clean it up a little bit. It's either going to rust or have paint on it, so which one do you prefer, right? That's the thing. Now, if this was a rusted piece of junk and you're painting it, one, you need to do it right. Let somebody know. That kind of thing. But yeah, we're just touching it up. So, see? 10 times better. The roof will come on over that. Overall, really solid machine. It does have some kind of like wax or something on it right here. It feels like wax, like hot wax. I don't know what it is. Yep, it's gotta be wax. Just went right up under my fingernail. Very nice. So, let's take the heat gun to it and see if we can get it off. Heat gun, guys. It's money in the bank, dude. Heat gun is gas. Sometimes I use a butane torch. A lot of times I don't. Reason being, if you're not careful with a torch, you will torch something. You can tear some stuff up, melt through a lot, that kind of thing. But most of the time with a heat gun, you can take it slow and figure out what it is you're trying to heat up. If it's going to oxidize or what it's going to do. And see if it's going to come off. It might even be crayon. I don't know. Yep, it's starting to come off. You see it getting hot, it's starting to turn to liquid. It's got to be crayon or wax. I don't know. This thing came off of a farm. So maybe it has something to do with farming, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's just like blue junk. I don't know. I really think it's wax. But what would they be doing with blue wax? If you know what you would be doing with blue wax on a side-by-side on a farm, let me know. It'd be kind of interesting to find out what the purpose was. The details matter, guys. The details matter. Well, guys, I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna give it a good wash, and then I'm gonna show you guys what I use to shine these things up, make them look good, give it kind of a clear coat almost. I used to use SC1, don't anymore. It does work fantastic. Nothing really works like that I found. There may be something you guys know about that I don't. But yeah, I'll show you guys that in a minute. Alright guys, one more detail I forgot. Super important. Seats. Always recover your seats. If they have a rip, they have a tear, buy a seat cover, recover them. Come on. The foam doesn't have to be perfect underneath to recover them. A lot of times it will smooth out on its own. Man, I just swapped this blade out. That sucks. Nobody wants to buy a machine that has terrible seat cover. Look at that. Even got a bug in it. Get out of here. Easiest way I found to do it: flip it over, roll it over, roll it over, flip it over, and then grab your pliers, needle nose, regular pliers, whatever will work, and then you just start pulling. Well, actually don't listen to me, guys, because normally these things will come right out. It's not happening today. This one was in good shape. There we go. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna get this pulled off, and I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright guys, I used a little bit different method this time. All I did was take my knife blade and ran right down on the inside. I have an air stapler. If you have an air stapler, it goes through other staples without problem. And just make sure any staple that you pulled up is out of the way. That way it doesn't like stab the next guy in the hand or somebody that reaches under there. I got that side. Alright, so this is what we're working with. In pretty good shape. You got one little spot over here. It's kind of jacked up. Now you can take a grinder pretty much and smooth that down. My battery ain't rigged up to do that. Man, I gotta get some battery powered grinders. I think I'm gonna leave that. It's gonna pull tight over it, but like I say, normally you can take a grinder with just like a grinding stone on it and just kind of smooth it out, or you can cut a section out, put a new section in, glue it to it, and then smooth it down with a grinder. It's the easiest way. Voila. Not too terrible. A couple wrinkles on the corners. Wrinkle on that corner. Guys, it could be so much worse. So, and I am no upholstery man. Like I say, this is also a random seat cover. So, I'm gonna hit it with a little gasoline rag to see if I can get that white paint off. Pop up on that side, let's see. Alright. Looks better to me. So I'm gonna wipe this down, then we'll wash it. Alright guys. I think we're just about done with this one. Turned out super good, super clean, just like stock. I'm really happy with it. It's got a little bit of stuff in the bed I couldn't really get out. Looks like old feed or something. But yeah. Just washed it. She looks awesome to me. And once it dries, I told you guys I'd show you. GX3 plastic restorer. That's what I use. Works fantastic. Just like SC1, like $4 or $5 a can. But that's it for this project. Let's get on to the next one.